Hey, Sienna, today was Kimmy's university graduation ceremony, wasn't it?
Yes, it should be over by now, I think. She mentioned she'd be going out for a karaoke party with her friends to celebrate, so she'll be back late.
I see. You're staying home, right?
Well, for now, yes, I'm at home.
Anyway, I'll be coming home early today. There's something important I need to talk to you about, so make sure you're there.
What is this all about?
I'll explain it in person when I get there. I also have something to give you.
All right, I understand.
Mom, sorry for the late update. The graduation ceremony went smoothly, and I just arrived at a karaoke place with my university friends.
Good job, Kimmy. What time do you think you'll be back?
Let's see. We booked the karaoke for a 2-hour session, but we might extend it, so I'd say it'll definitely be after 9 p.m.
Do you need me to pick you up? Are you sure you know the way back?
No worries. A friend who knows our situation is heading in the same direction, so we decided to share a taxi. As long as I give the driver the address, it'll be fine. Besides, you're busy tonight, aren't you? I can handle myself, so don't worry about me and focus on your stuff.
All right, I got it, thanks.
By the way, how's everything going on your end?
Well, you know, your dad called and said he has something to discuss when he gets back. I mean, I have a good idea of what it's about, but it's just such a hassle.
Oh, yeah, I get that. But hey, maybe it's a good thing. Saves you the trouble in a way, right?
True. I'll try to look at it positively. Anyway, take care on your way home.
Will do.
Sienna? Don't you dare let your anger get the best of you and tear up that document I just gave you.
The divorce papers, you mean? The ones with your name already neatly filled in? So what's the deal? You come home, shove the divorce papers at me, and walk right back out without saying a word. Weren't you going to explain this to me in person?
I decided to convey it through a message instead. Here it is, I'm saying it now.
All right. I got the gist from the divorce papers, but what is it you want to say?
Divorce me, please, just set me free.
Set you free? What exactly do you mean by that?
Kimmy is graduating from university today, right? And after the ceremony, she's heading straight to the apartment where she'll be living on her own, isn't she?
That's correct. And?
Kimmy becoming an independent adult means that my duties as a parent are complete. Now that she's moving out, there's nothing left for me to do, is there?
Well, I wouldn't say there's nothing left, but I'll agree it marks a major milestone.
Exactly. But when I thought about what comes next, working day in and day out just to support you as you grow older and frankly become an old hag, I couldn't help but feel this overwhelming sense of emptiness about my future.
You do realize you're getting older too, right?
This isn't about me. Look, I'll be blunt. The idea of spending the rest of my life alone with you, just the two of us, makes me feel completely deflated. I've had enough. I want to be free. I want to be released from all these obligations as a parent and a husband. In other words, Kimmy is moving out, so you can stop being a mother too. Just disappear from my life already.
Oh, really? Well, whether or not I stop being a mother is my decision to make, not yours.
That's exactly the kind of thing I'm talking about. I'm telling you, I've lost all interest in you. I don't care about an old hag who's completely useless to me.
Oh, I see. This must be about that cute young coworker you mentioned at your job. Well, feel free to get all excited about her, but let me tell you, it's definitely a delusion. You're just making a fool of yourself, and you should consider both her feelings and your age before getting carried away.
I'm not saying I'm planning to do anything with her.
Really?
Just divorce me already and get out.
All right. Honestly, I've been thinking about divorcing you for a long time now because of these exact behaviors of yours.
Wait, what?
Oh, and by the way, the moving company will be here in about 5 minutes.
5 minutes? What do you mean 5 minutes?
Well, while we've been having this little chat, I got a notification from the movers saying they're almost here. It's late, so there's a surcharge for the nighttime service, but they were willing to accommodate my request. I wanted to get this over with as soon as possible, so I scheduled it for tonight.
Wait, what?
Thanks for everything up until now.
Hold on, are you saying you've already packed up and prepared to move out?
Oh, and thanks for the divorce papers, too. You saved me the trouble of having to prepare them myself. I'll drop them off at the city office's night reception desk before the end of the day.
Wait a second!
Oh, one more thing. This is important.
What is it?
This house is set to be demolished.
What? What are you talking about? You didn't even consult me about this? How can the owner decide something like that without my approval?
Excuse me? What are you even saying? The landlord is my brother, remember?
Wait, what?
Do I need to remind you? For the past 20 years, my brother let us rent this place at a ridiculously low rate. It was sitting vacant while his family was overseas for an extended period. He figured it would be better for someone to live in it than let it go to waste.
Oh, right.
Now that my brother's family's wrapping up their time abroad and coming back to the U.S., they've decided to rebuild the house. It's old and in poor condition, so it's time to tear it down. The rental agreement ends at the end of next month.
What the hell?
Anyway, the movers are here now. Bye.
Wait, what's going on? What am I supposed to do now?
Mom, the karaoke competition is over, so I'm about to hop in a taxi and head to my new place.
All right, well, be careful on your way.
By the way, during karaoke, Dad kept calling me over and over. The number of missed calls was insane.
You didn't pick up?
I was too busy singing to even notice. Oh, and he sent a text message at the end. He was like, "Your mom left. She's going to divorce me. Help me."
Oh my. The nerve of him, especially after handing me the divorce papers himself. Unbelievable.
Anyway, I did leave him on red and didn't reply.
Good call. Oh, just so you know, the divorce papers have already been submitted to the night reception desk at City Hall.
Got it.
All right, I'm going to start unpacking the basics.
You've already finished moving all your stuff?
Yes, I tried to minimize my belongings, and since it's only a 20-minute drive from the old house, it didn't take long.
Gotcha. Well, I'll see you later then.
All right, be safe.
Hey, Sienna, why haven't you come over yet?
Oh, it's been 2 months. What do you want?
I gave you my new address, didn't I?
Oh, that. You mean the random address you sent me about a month ago? Honestly, I wasn't sure what you were trying to achieve with that. So what exactly was the point?
Why haven't you come to do the housework?
Excuse me? Housework? Who's doing whose housework here?
Who else? You're supposed to do my housework, of course. Housework is a woman's job. My mom's in a nursing home, so there's no one else but you to handle it.
Are you even listening to yourself right now?
Unbelievable. You really don't get it, do you? We were married for 23 years. Even though I had to constantly criticize you for your incompetence, you still managed somehow. And now, just because we're divorced, you've suddenly forgotten everything? I'll retrain you if I have to. Starting tomorrow, I expect you here every day.
Wow. Are you feeling okay, like, mentally?
What?
Asking your ex-wife, an entirely unrelated person now, to come do housework for your home? Do you hear how ridiculous that sounds?
What are you talking about?
And retrain me? Oh, that's one of the most disrespectful things I've ever heard. Let me remind you, when we were married, despite us both working full-time jobs, you dumped all the housework and childcare on me while you sat back and criticized everything I did. You were the textbook definition of all talk, no action. And you think you were in any position to critique me?
Who are you calling useless? I told you before, housework is a woman's job.
Well, even if that's your twisted belief, you don't go asking a stranger to do your housework, do you?
But you're not a stranger. You were my wife.
Was your wife, past tense. Now I'm your ex-wife, which makes me just another person in the world. If a stranger is going to do housework for you, it's usually because they're a professional housekeeper or part of a cleaning service. That's literally their job. And let me make this crystal clear. I am neither your housekeeper nor your servant. I have no obligation or intention to do anything for you.
Fine. If that's the way it's gonna be, I'll just ask Kimmy instead. As her father, I'll tell her it's part of her training to be a proper wife someday. She'll jump at the opportunity, thinking it's a good life lesson.
Yeah, good luck with that. I wouldn't get my hopes up if I were you.
Kimmy, I have a favor to ask.
No.
Huh? Wait, hold on. I haven't even finished saying anything yet.
I'm guessing it's something like, as my daughter, you should come over and help me with housework, right? But that's impossible.
Why is that?
Well, since Mom isn't here anymore, the only person who can do the housework is me, your daughter. But it's your responsibility. Why don't you just take care of it yourself?
No, housework is a woman's job. It's simple, really.
Wait, what? What do you mean by that? Are you really saying that housework is only for women?
Listen, one day you'll get married, and when you do, you don't want your husband to think you can't even handle basic housework, right? That's why you need to learn it now. It's your responsibility, and you should take it seriously.
I already know how to do it just fine. You don't have to tell me what to do.
Oh, really? If that's the case, then starting tomorrow, I expect you to come over and handle the housework. That shouldn't be a problem, right?
I'm saying no. Do you even remember that I'm an adult now and have my own life to take care of?
It's not that big of a deal. You could just swing by after work, do a bit of cleaning, prepare a meal for me. The apartment I'm living in now is just one bedroom and the dining room and kitchen, so it's smaller and easier to clean. Plus, cooking for just me won't take that long, and it's not nearly as difficult as when we lived in a big house before.
If you think it's so easy, then why don't you do it yourself?
Well, that's because I don't have time for it. And besides, it's not as easy as you think.
And yet you think I should just drop everything and help you? It's physically impossible.
Physically impossible? What do you mean by that?
The thing is, the company's new employee training is almost over, and I've been assigned to a branch office in a completely different region. So I'm going to be moving far away soon.
Wait, didn't you just start living alone in that apartment near your work?
That was only temporary. The company provided it for me as an accommodation during my training period, but now that my placement's been finalized, I'll be moving to a different city.
So, you're moving even farther away now?
Yes, that's right. And just so you know, I'm bringing Mom with me too.
What? Why are you taking Mom with you?
Well, Mom's job is working as a handmade artist, which means she can work from home. And since she's single now, she doesn't have to worry about finding a place to live, so it's easy for her to move. Plus, she doesn't mind at all.
I don't get it. Why does she have to go with you?
The main reason is that I don't want to be bothered by Dad asking me to get remarried or pressuring me to take care of him. It's easier to just take Mom along with me. That way I won't have to deal with any of his nonsense.
Wait a minute. No, that's not what I was saying.
Oh, so I'm right, huh?
No, that's not what I meant.
Anyway, we've made up our minds. We're not going to take care of you anymore. We've had enough of you, especially since you don't even appreciate the value of having someone to help with the housework. Neither Mom nor I will lift a finger for you anymore.
Kimmy, but at least could you please help me out and clean up my place a bit? I don't even know how to take out the trash, and the place is such a mess that you can't even see the floor anymore.
Maybe you should just drown in your own pigsty forever. Goodbye.
It seems that my ex-husband's deeply ingrained belief that housework is a woman's job hasn't changed at all, even after our divorce. From what I've heard from a colleague of my ex-husband, someone I personally know well, it seems he's become quite unbearable. Apparently he's developed an odor that's hard to ignore. Whether it's because he hasn't been doing his laundry, or if it's just his natural body odor due to aging, the result is the same. When you get too close to him, the stench is overwhelming. He apparently smells terrible, and it's gotten so bad that even his coworkers have started to notice. But that's not even the worst of it. It seems that he approached a young and beautiful female employee at his office with an inappropriate proposal. He tried to get her to become his housekeeper, thinking that she would take on the household responsibilities he was too lazy to manage. He persistently tried to pursue her, and this situation escalated into a huge issue at the company. The story that was shared with me went something like this. When his supervisor addressed the issue, my ex-husband's response was to blame his inability to keep his house in order on the fact that there was no one to do the laundry and no one to take out the trash. His supervisor, a man himself, was apparently taken aback by my ex-husband's comments. He looked at him with a stunned expression and said, "Why don't you do it yourself?" This reaction seemed to leave my ex-husband dumbfounded. He couldn't comprehend why anyone would think he was capable of doing these things himself. But the truth is, he never had to do them while we were married because he always expected me to take care of everything. As the situation at his job continued to unravel, it became apparent that my ex-husband's inability to adapt and learn how to take care of himself was becoming a serious problem, both at work and in his personal life. He had a long history of neglecting his responsibilities, and now this same neglect was affecting his professional reputation. His behavior, combined with a series of repeated mistakes, led to him being demoted and having his salary reduced. Word has started to spread that my ex-husband is now facing a recommendation for retirement, or, at the very least, a forced resignation. I have no idea how true those rumors are, but if they are, I can't say I'm too surprised. This is a man who has never truly grown up or taken responsibility for his actions. Instead of taking the initiative to learn new skills or adapt to his circumstances, he's always preferred to live in a fantasy where women, like myself, would just take care of everything for him. His inability to change or even to acknowledge that he has to take responsibility for his own life has led him to this point. I can't help but think that this is the outcome he deserves, though part of me is also slightly amused by how he's handling it. He seems so completely unaware of the reality of his situation. For someone who always wanted to appear as if he had everything under control, it's rather amusing to see him fail in such spectacular fashion. The man who used to criticize me for not doing enough in our marriage is now being confronted with the consequences of his actions, and it's clear he has no idea how to fix it. The whole situation has caused me to reflect on just how much he took me, and others, for granted during our marriage. His sense of entitlement, particularly towards household chores, was beyond belief. It wasn't just about laundry or cooking, it was about his expectation that I should shoulder all of the responsibilities that came with managing our home, without any real recognition of the hard work that went into it. He would always say that housework was a woman's job, as though that somehow justified his complete refusal to lift a finger. And even after everything that happened between us, he still seems to think this attitude is acceptable. But now, in his new predicament, he has no choice but to face the consequences of his outdated thinking. He's made mistakes at work, alienated people around him, and lost the respect of his peers, all because of his refusal to change. The reality he's been living in has finally caught up to him, and he's unable to adapt. He's so entrenched in his way of thinking that he doesn't even realize how ridiculous he looks to others. For someone who used to insist that he was right about everything, this is a significant blow to his ego. In some ways, it almost feels like poetic justice. He's always viewed himself as superior to those around him, especially me, simply because of his gender. Yet now he's the one facing ridicule and personal failure, while I'm moving on with my life. It's strange, though, because even though I've been through a lot because of him, I don't feel any sympathy for him now. If anything, I find myself feeling a sense of relief that I'm no longer involved in his mess. But what really gets to me is the fact that he still hasn't learned anything. His entire world seems to revolve around his own comfort, and he expects others to do the work for him. He never realized that in order to function in the world, you have to be self-sufficient. He's always depended on others to take care of him, whether it was his mother, his wife, or now some unsuspecting woman at his office. And when that support is pulled away, he has no idea how to cope. What's even more shocking is that even after all of this, he still can't understand why people are upset with him. His sense of entitlement has not waned. He hasn't stopped thinking that it's someone else's job to clean up his mess. This is the same man who for years would criticize me for the smallest things while never once lifting a finger to help. Now that he's on his own, he's unable to take care of the most basic tasks, and that's what led to the collapse of his career. As for me, I've moved on from all of this. I have no intention of helping him, nor do I feel any need to. I've been through enough, and he has made it clear that he is incapable of change. He's going to have to deal with the fallout on his own, and I won't be there to pick up the pieces. In the end, it's hard to feel sorry for someone who never took responsibility for their own actions. He had a chance to make things right, but he chose not to, and now he faces the consequences. I can only watch from the sidelines. It's his problem now, not mine, and I plan to keep it that way.
Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.